Hey everybody, welcome back to the Preserves. On today's video we are going to get back and start the conversion on the AO-35 Hammond Oregon chassis. And I think what we're going to do is mainly follow Brad the Guitologist's schematic changes, what he did. But we're also going to implement a few other changes on there because there's a few things that I kind of want to add to this for my own amplifier situation. So let me show you what we got. I'm going to flip you down on the bench and show you what we got. Okay, so here's the AO-35. We've got a schematic for it here, and we've also got the schematic, move this over a little bit, that Brad the Guitologist modified. Anyway, we're going to be removing this whole panel, and we're going to replace this panel right here. And then on this side, it's pretty clean. Let me show you what we got here. So if we're looking at it this direction, so we're going to have our switch here. And I'm not positive yet what I'm gonna do. I've got this new pilot light, and it's kind of big to go here for the mod that I want to do, but it may work too because it's just right here by the power anyway. But yeah, so we've got that big old thing there. We've got our Switchcraft jacks ready to go. And then another thing that we're going to do is we're going to put our input on this side, and then we're going to have our tone stack right through here. We can go with this style of fuse, which is probably what I'm going to do because that I think will fit right in there just perfectly on that thing. And so we're probably going to go with this style of fuse holder. We've got our light, our fuse holder, and then I bought multiple versions of the capacitors because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with this project. And so the next thing is to do is we're going to remove or lift this up and start going about removing the parts on this that are not needed, and replacing this 25 microfarad at 50 volts and this 25 microfarad at 50 volts and this 5 microfarad at 150 volts. In here you can see this orange wire that comes from here. It needs to get, for the circuit, it needs to get moved. So when you're removing some of these resistors and whatnot and capacitors, so some of these capacitors down here at the bottom, they're no longer needed in the circuit. And so let's get to the schematic of what Brad did, and we'll start removing stuff. Alright, though I thought I wasn't going to be able to continue with this because this capacitor right here, it's got white all over it, and I never ordered that one, and it's measuring out at, there we go. So you can see that. Yeah. 4.3 microfarads, and that's supposed to be let's see if you can read that. This one right here, it's supposed to be a 3 microfarad at 50 volts. And I thought I didn't have one on hand, but then I remembered that I purchased this lot of film capacitors on eBay a long while back, just because it was so cheap. I couldn't believe it was so cheap because it had all kinds of film capacitors in it and whatnot, and I found this one. It's not the same value, but it's better than that one, and it's this one's a 3.3 microfarad, and that one is supposed to be a 3 microfarad, and it's measuring out at 4.3, so I think this one will work. So we'll plug that one into there and get on with our lives. Okay, so it's been like maybe a week and a half, and I got pretty intimidated with this. I've never worked on an amp before, or did a conversion or anything like that, and so I'm gonna drill you down into this and show you where we're at. I did start doing some stuff, and I'll show you what I've done, but upon further inspection of this thing and getting some values out of these resistors and stuff, and looking at the schematic and all that stuff, and not knowing really how to read the flow of the schematic, I'm kind of tracing it out and whatnot, and so I've had to like stop and so I'm not recording myself confusing you, so that way you can just go through and see where we're at, instead of me going back and forth and trying to figure stuff out in real time. I'll show you where I'm at, but I didn't want to like mislead you into some situation where if you were doing this and it was your first time, that you would get as confused as I have been confused. So without further ado, let me turn you down and show you where we're at on this actual conversion of the AO-35. Okay, so what I've actually done here is, I'll show you. So right in here there was the circuit for the reverb driver. This little section right here was the reverb driver, and that was connected with these wires coming over to this section right here on the amp, with these resistors, and so I clipped that out immediately. We're not going to be using that. You need other situations for that, and we're not going to be using that. Then this 68 k ohm resistor was right here on this last on this last turret, and then it came down and was connected to pin 3 right here of this, and I took that out completely, and that is right here. That was this one right here on this. And so the next kind of situation that I ran into is I couldn't really figure out where I was right here, because I was reading these as 1 meg and they're not, they're 0.1 meg. So both of these are 0.1 megs. And so I found this 10K, and I found this 0.56, and I found this 5 microfarad at 50, which is this big one right here. And so this one down here, this 0.01 cap, is, where is it? We gotta find it. I gotta remember where it is. Okay, it's right here. This 0.01 cap right here. That is this one right down here. So what we're gonna start doing on this is we're gonna start removing the resistors and stuff that we don't need. And my plan for this is to get everything traced out on this, and because I'm going to be adding my controls to this front panel here, because it just makes more sense than I took out the grommet there. It was a metal grommet that was in here, and what we're going to do is we're going to mark this out, mark halfway, and then we're going to drill our holes for our controls on here. And so what we're gonna do on the front for controls, let me just show you. This one's gonna be a hard one to put in because it's so big. I wish I would have ordered a different one, but I want to put it here, but I'm gonna probably end up putting it here. Just because I've got to come off of, let me show you down in here. Let me zoom you in a little bit and move this back. So this right here is the heater winding, and so I've got to come in off of pin 4 and pin 5 right here to power this heater. From the heater, I've got to power this from the heater. So, and then we've got our fuse that I'm gonna put here in the back next to the power cord, and the power cord's gonna come in right here. We're gonna come in and we're gonna start removing some of these that we don't need to make the circuit more feasible for an amplifier. We don't have to, but we're going to. And I've done a little bit of research. I've watched a few videos on different conversions of what people have done with these. People have made them into a Dr. Z's Karma Gia. Actually, this is the original conversion that he did for the Karma Gia that Dr. Z used, was the AO-35 to make his Karma Gia. And we're not doing that. We're doing something different than what anybody else has actually done for this by adding a whole tone circuit to it with values that I've researched for what I kind of want to get out of this amplifier. And it's a little bit more intel than just slapping a tone switch on there with a 0.01 microfarad and a 100K resistor going across the tone and the volume. It's we've got a little bit more components to add, and that's what I want to do with this. So I'm going to get into start removing the stuff that needs to be removed, and I will bring you back when we're ready to start doing that. Alright, so let me show you what we're doing here. These things are really hard to heat up, and so basically what you got to do, you got to get in here and you got to put pressure on this and heat up back here the best that you can. I've broken that resistor. That's how hard that was to get out. Alright. See how difficult that is to get out of there? Alright, where are we at on this? So this one gets completely removed as well. Got her. Holy moly. Yeah, so you can see the difficulty of getting these wires desoldered and trying to be gentle at the same time as that. And so that's my process of where I'm at right now. I've got to go through and get all this stuff that I don't need on here desoldered and out of the way. And so I'll bring you back when I'm down to here and show you what the next step is. Alright, let me move this over a little bit, show you where we're at. Okay, so we've removed this big capacitor. I don't even know if this was testing good or not. We've removed, let me just get my pointer. So from here we've removed this 0.2 capacitor, which is here on the schematic. Let me zoom you in a little bit so we can just show you. So we've removed this capacitor, we've removed this resistor, we've removed this capacitor, and we've lifted this wire from this terminal right here we've lifted this gray wire from this terminal right here, and the next what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove this, and we could probably start removing a couple of these components down here, like this capacitor over here, this capacitor. We'll leave these two resistors. I believe they stay in circuit. Just remove this stuff. Once this is removed, then we're gonna go on to marking our chassis, taking this board out, and we're going to actually take this wire out, and we're going to reuse this yellow wire in our final circuit of what we're going to do. So let me pause you up here, and we'll remove these two capacitors, and I believe the rest of this stuff just stays in circuit. I've removed this one. I've removed one, two, three resistors in circuit. 1, 2, and the other one I broke. The other one of those I broke, and that capacitor. So let me zoom you out and show you actually what I'm looking at. So I removed this, that, and I broke one capacitor and one resistor that I've removed out of circuit. I've lifted this wire, and this wire. I'm going to desolder this wire, and it's going to be reused in the circuit, and that's where we're at. We're going to remove this. We're going to remove this. And then I'll show you what we're going to do instead of using this capacitor. I'm going to show you what we're going to use. All right, let's show you where we're at. So I've removed both of these big capacitors. That one was here. And one was right here going down, and let me just show you the reason why I removed these. This one might be good. This one definitely was leaky. Let me get you on here and we'll show you. You see that? Let me zoom you in. That says 47 microfarads. This is supposed to be a 25 microfarad. That is super leaky. I bet you the other one's out too. This is let me get this one on there, and we'll see where we're at. Yeah, that one's at 42 microfarads as well. So that's why you replace these things. They don't last forever. What we are going to do with those actually is replace them with, we're just going to go ahead and replace those right now so I don't forget where they go. And yeah, so we're going to replace those both with these smaller ones right here. These are 33 microfarads at 50 volts. And instead of those ones, we're going to just replace these ones. And I believe, so that one was at the top, and I will have to go and look. I can't remember which one. I didn't mark that one. But yeah, so we're gonna poke these in and solder them up. We got to measure them, and then let me see where I want to be at with this one. That's a little too high. Let me go right there. That looks good. See if I can melt that up. Let me get that red wire out of the way. All right. Okay, that one's in. All right, let's go over what we've done. Get you in there. Move this back a little bit. Okay, so down in here I replaced this resistor, and I took out the big capacitors, the 25 microfarad by 50 volts, and replaced them with these two smaller ones here. This one and this one. Those are at 33 microfarads by 50 volts. This resistor, I just kind of tried to match these ones. They are supposed to be a 330K resistor, or a 0.33 meg. And so they're all measuring at 380. There was, this one was, here was measuring a little higher than these three, and so what I did is I just went ahead and put see if you can see that resistor in there. It's the only one that I had. I looked through my carbon ones, and I did not have any value that was even close to the values that were in here. I'm just trying to keep it all at the same, you know, kind of spec without having to change all the components in here. I am changing the electrolytics, yes. I am changing these that are in the actual audio circuit, the ceramic caps. So this one here, it was a 0.02, and I just changed it to a 0.022 at 630 volt. And then this one, I'm going to change this one as well. This one is also, or that one's a 0.01, and I'm going to change it as well. But this one gets connected to this yellow wire and then run underneath the board, and so it connects here at this point and then goes underneath the board and connects up. And I'm just going to use one of these 0.01 just to keep it in. And we're going to replace this one. I was trying to get this off of the board, and I accidentally broke the top of the tube pin here, and so I had to because I'm just, you know, just waggling back and forth on this thing, and this is what happened. It broke the top of that pin off, and so we just replaced it, the wire back to it. And next we're gonna, these two resistors stay in place. These two resistors stay in place. This resistor stays in place. We're just going to be removing this cap here. Just taking it completely out of the circuit. I'm not going to desolder it. I'm just going to clip it off. This one as well, I'm just going to clip it off. And then we're just going to leave the RCA jack installed on this side. Right there. We're just going to take it out. You can still use it. I'm just going to take all of these off. They're not needed for our circuit. And then, yeah. Oh, and so let me go over actually what I've done. So, here I've taken this orange wire, and it was in here, and it got moved into this position right here. I forgot to tell you guys this. So, the orange wire got desoldered from here, and the resistor that was from here to here got removed. The orange wire got moved from here to here. The gray wire, which was down here at the bottom, and there was a resistor going from here to here to ground. Now this wire was up underneath and going to the bottom pin here. We just moved it to the top and removed the resistor that was from here to here, or excuse me, from here to here, connecting those two spots, and now we just moved it up. So and that's pretty much everything. I wanted to make sure that I showed you the wires that I moved. So if you're doing this, you'll see how the circuit has moved over. And instead of connecting that resistor, we just went over one and just connected the wire direct here. And then instead of the wire running down here, we moved it up to the top because we removed that other resistor that was there. And yeah, so that's where we're at. And hope you guys enjoyed this video. stay tuned for part 2 of this conversion, where we will have all of our holes drilled and the other parts that I'm waiting for to come in. I'm gonna go ahead and stop this video for today. Like I said, I'm waiting for some parts. Move on with our lives. And till the next time, peace.